So you're ready to get on to the fourth hurdle. And the fourth hurdle is you now have these 1,000 people. With how do you get those people? How do you get your audience to know, like, and trust you? Until the audience that you built in that last roadblock knows, likes, and trusts you, you're not going to make any consistent sales. So how do you do that? How do you get people to know, like, and trust you? Well, I can't go over all the different strategies that we use to do that, but basically it comes down to you help them solve their problems and show them that you're a good guide for their online journey. So again, if you're focused on daily learning, that's going to help here too. Don't pretend that you're an expert, become one. So you need to email your list at least 3 times a week with new original content. That content needs to be mainly about things that help them, with no ask for them to pay or do anything in return. You need to teach them what they need to know to build their business and solve their problems. You can review and share great tools that will really help them. You can use your affiliate links in there when you're sharing these tools, but it needs to mostly be about the value you're adding, not just a promo for the tool. Remember, 80% helpful content, 20% promotions. So, that is not in every single email, but if you measure the amount of space that you are putting in your emails, it should work out to that. Some go even more strongly towards useful content and ask for people to buy even less. The trick is you do not want to be somebody who, once they join the list, you just pound them over and over and over again with products without doing anything to build that relationship. Once the relationship is built and they do know, like, and trust you, then you can work more offers in. We'll talk about that in a minute. So you need to email them at least 3 times a week. Why so often? Because their email boxes are jammed full of stuff, and they are only going to see some of your emails. So typical open rate on emails from autoresponders right now, assuming you have a reasonably clean list, like most of the people have joined or opened an email in the last 6 months, is 5 to 10%. So you send an email, 5 to 10% of them are going to open it in this particular make money online niche. So that means 95% never open the mail. They never read it. So if you email them once a week, you're only hitting 5% of your list once a week. And a lot of them are going to be the same 5%. You're not getting any deep penetration so that the vast majority of the people on your list have read at least one of your emails in the last few months. So you have to mail more frequently. You have to mail at least 3 times a week. Now, as you may have noticed with some of my own emails and also with emails from some of the coaching clients I work with, they also follow up typically on the following day with an email to the people who didn't open it the first day. So that's another thing to look for in your autoresponder. Does your autoresponder allow you to do that? Send the email to the non-opens. So they'll mail at, say, 8 o'clock on Monday morning, the original mail to the entire list. Then Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, they'll resend the email just to the people who didn't open it in that first 36 hours. And then typically that second email will get about half the open rate of the first one. So if you got 8% on the first one, you might get another 4% on the resend. So you've actually reached about 12% of your list. So if you're mailing 3 times a week and you're doing resends of every mail on the following day, that means you have a mail going out to some of the people on your list 6 days a week. So that means you're going to be in their inbox enough that it's going to be hard for them to ignore you. And it's going to be hard for them to forget who you are. If you're not mailing your list often enough, they will forget who you are. And when you send the mail and they eventually do see one a month later, they'll be like, who's this bozo and how did I get on his list? Right? You certainly are not creating know, like, and trust. So you're sharing these emails and you're sending out information that is helpful to them. You also want to share small details about what's going on with you in your life. so that they can see you as another person, not just a business. It's not just a lesson all the time. Tell them a little bit about what's going on. I mean, you probably notice one of the things I put in my emails regularly, and I assume you read them, that's would have been how you got here, is that in the top of most of my emails, I share where I am and what the weather is, right? That's just a little bit of personal information that people connect with. You would be surprised how many times I'm talking with people or how many times people email and say, oh, I see you're back in Canada now, right? It makes you more real. It makes you more a person. And we're trying to create a relationship of know, like, and trust. And they're much more likely to trust people than they are to trust companies. So you have to come across as a person. It's the same reason for putting a picture in your email, so that you've got a picture down at the bottom of what you look like. They are building a relationship. You're building a relationship here. You know, people who try to be anonymous online or use fake names or use profile pictures that are not actual pictures of themselves are shooting themselves in the foot, because they're, in their effort to try to stay private, they are actually not building the relationship that they need to build in order to have people connect with them. You're trying to get people to connect with you. That's how know, like, and trust is built. So share some of those small details about what's going on. I can't go over all the strategies here, but you get the basic idea. You need to build trust with them so they will listen to your offers to get them to buy things when you send them.